So I get so many questions about what is intentional creativity really? Well, intentional creativity is an approach to art. It's the mindfulness that you bring to your creation. So I thought we could go through it together so that kind of you get the idea. And so what I'm going to invite you to do is draw a series of circles with me that we're going to put words in. And we're going to do 3 circles. Just go 3 circles going down the page. And then we're going to do 2 additional circles. Don't worry about it being wobbly. You could spend all day perfecting this. So in the first circle, we're going to put the word intention. That's, of course, at the heart of our work. And I'm inviting you to really learn this so you know it in your own body. Intention, the intention with which we approach our art changes us, and makes a conscious contribution to our lives and our planet. That's pretty clear, right? The intention with which we approach our art, changes us, and makes a contribution to our lives and our planet. Love it. The next one is values. And these are all things that you probably feel as already inherent in art making, but somehow articulating them can really bring it home. Values. We respect each person in our community because intentional creativity happens individually but also in community. Each person in our community has a unique voice and story to tell, and their part of the story is essential to making the beautiful whole. Right? That's the way that we approach being together in this work. Next one is our stand. When something is not just a teaching but a movement, we have these things that are common, like fundamental ideas about intentional creativity. Stand. We take a stand that every person has a right to be self-expressed and can be given the tools to access their own identity, story, self-healing, and gifts. Let me read that again. We take a stand that every person has a right to be self-expressed and can be given the tools to access their own identity, story, self-healing, and gifts. That's pretty powerful. Not pretty powerful. That is powerful. Okay, at the center is practice. Practice is something that I have done with intentional creativity for close to 27 years now. For me, practice in the craft is at the center of the work. Practice. Making sure that you can actually see these words. They look a little blurry, but you get the idea. Plus, there's the handout. Practice. We make what we make through mindfulness by infusing our heart awareness, inquiry, and energy into all of our creations and connections with respect. It's making me happy to read these because this is what I believe, and it feels so good to know that I share it with so many of you. Next one is desire. Oh, spelled that wrong. Desire. We desire to create a world where everyone experiences themselves as inherently creative, having little to do with skill, talent, or being good at art. Desire. Lineage. We practice the idea that we all belong here, that we have been called into the circle and can be a part of a chosen red thread lineage rooted in love. Once again, we practice the idea that we all belong here, that we have been called into this circle and can be a part of a chosen red thread lineage rooted in love. And if you're new here, red thread is our symbol of connection and to our own peace, that which is ours to bring forward in the world. We have an intentional creativity lineage of actual people, but every single person who chooses to be a part of our community can also choose to become a part of the lineage. The next one is ritual. Ritual or rituals. We regard ourselves and one another and our art making as sacred relationships, understanding that our loving awareness contributes to the greater field of good. Once again, we regard ourselves, one another, and our art making as sacred relationships, understanding that our loving awareness contributes to the greater field of good. So those are just the basic fundamentals of the way that we approach art making in intentional creativity. Sometimes people say to me, isn't all art intentional? And I say, well, yes, you intend to paint a mountain, to paint an ocean, to paint a person. That's like a level of intention that's very, very basic. This is a level of intention where we're actually really consciously engaging and infusing our energy into our creations, really making it personal. For example, when I made this bowl when I was 25 years old, or 25 years old, okay. I put my intention into the clay as I dug it out of the hill, as I prepared it, as I wedged it, and then I put my intention for the healing of women and children into it as I was working. And then as I threw the pot, I thought about and felt that loving presence that I was infusing into the bowl, but also into the world as prayer. And then I decorated it with designs. There's a mama with a chalice well cover symbol, or Vesica Pisces, or Parthenogenesis symbol, the two eggs interlocking. As I put that in there, I connected with my relationship with the feminine and with women. So the bowl, in essence, is not only charged up with the actual earth and my teacher Sue, but actually with the intention that I put into it at the time. It still carries and holds that resonance. And that's intentional creativity. It's just being mindful about what you do and how you do it. And you can't get it wrong. And almost all of our ancestors have already been doing it. It's just that when we're too busy and distracted, we don't actually take the time to slow down enough to enter the sacred space of being mindful about what we create in our lives. So thank you for tuning in.